All right, let's move on to Microsoft. At Chuluhu 8U says, I know the CAGcast is
Cthulhu.
that's what I said.
You said Cholula.
Whatever. Cholulu, Chahulu, Cholula. So they're all delicious. Let's all agree. I said, I know the CAG has done some good coverage on GameStop news in the past. What is your opinion on the GameStop Microsoft revenue share? He says, this really favors Microsoft and lets GameStop in on the digital revenue, but is it a good thing for consumers? I'm just afraid of how much GameStop employees will be forced to push the Xbox and its services on customers. We were talking about this in our little private chat, Shipwreck and Wombat, about
That's
this
true. We
about this
were.
news and whether
Mhm.
it was how significant it was. And Shipwreck was arguing that it was not very significant for the most part.
I just don't see it as a major revenue for GameStop. The problem with GameStop and their greatest asset, obviously, is that they have so many stores everywhere.
Correct. It's a pawn shop. It's a brand name pawn shop for younger people, young adults, I guess. Right? Is that
Right.
accurate?
So competing against like the only benefits they have are they have a lot of stores
Mm-hmm.
and they take trade-ins,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's the only thing different.
And
Any
you
kind
can
of
pay
difference
for things
between
in
them.
cash. You can pay for things in cash, unlike Amazon,
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
like in person in
Um,
cash. Even if you're buying digital currency, whatever, some
mhm.
people just cash.
But I don't know. Like this, I there's just not a large amount of people that are looking to go somewhere to pay cash to get their digital codes to go download stuff,
Right.
right? Eventually, people are just going to buy it from their house and go, especially in the post pandemic world. Once we get to a post pandemic world of
Well, you can't download a console.
you can't download a console. That's
And
for
that's the
sure.
whole point of the agreement is that GameStop, if you bought an Xbox if you bought an Xbox at GameStop, then GameStop will get a percentage of whatever you spend on that Xbox digitally. GameStop is going to get a percentage of that. I don't think they announced the percentage, and people have speculated about what that percentage is. Some people said as high as 10%. Some people think it's like 1%. Very, very big difference there, by the way, in case.
And it's a huge difference from what their current model um,
Correct.
margins are, right? I mean,
Correct.
it's enormously different.
Correct. The
So
margins on like trading in games, it's like 40% or something, 30%, 40%, something like that. So yeah, this could be like, I mean, the stock reacted really well to it. The stock shot up a lot, like doubled almost.
well, any positive news is going to make that stock jump up real high, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right. The rumor, well, to answer this guy's question, what the effect on the customer is, the rumor is that PlayStation is going to either already has a deal like this in place or will at some point in the near future. Um, I yeah, I mean that is a valid concern. If that's not, I mean, if that's not the case, and GameStop is really just more financially incented to sell you an Xbox, doesn't matter now, obviously, because they're just whatever's coming in is going right out the door. But 2 years from now, a year from now, it could make it if GameStop is still around, then it could be meaningful. And yeah, that's a valid concern if they're pushing one console over the other because the revenue could be really significant
Who's it a
down
valid concern for, though?
customer, just the
The other
customer.
side of this would also be, in an era where there seems to always be console shortages, if it means that GameStops get steady supplies of consoles early, it could be a benefit to the consumer who's looking for a new console. If they are in fact new consoles.
I don't know. Amazon or all these other big retailers, they're just as big as Game. There's a few that are just as big as GameStop probably at this point and can get the same thing going. And I don't know. What Shipwreck is saying, I think, is
They just have so much overhead.
right.
GameStop has so much overhead, and I don't know how they get around that. Like, you look at like Microsoft, enormous corporation. They tried having Microsoft stores,
That did not work out.
and that did not work out.
We still have
Right.
one in Roosevelt Field.
Is it still there?
Still
Did they
there.
close it?
Going strong, baby. Going real strong. I mean,
I
not
haven't
going
been there
strong,
yet.
but it's still there. You've never been there? Have you walked by?
No, I
it
mean I
even?
haven't been there since the
Oh, COVID.
pandemic.
Oh.
Since yeah,
Yeah.
I haven't been there at all.
I believe it is closed during the pandemic. I believe I walked by the store and it was not open, but it's still in
Then
business.
it's probably gone.
Oh, well, they haven't cleaned it out. The stuff is still in there.
That's because there's no one to do it because
I
there's a
don't know about
pandemic.
that. I don't know about that. Anyway, there's a big difference between making, let's say 5% on on digital game purchases for the lifetime of a console and making 30-40% on a customer every time he comes in and selling a game like for
Well, that also you're implying a lot about someone's spending habits. Theoretically, if it's 10% on the console, say 10% per game.
that's high.
the
I don't see that as even as someone like in the affiliate business. That
But
seems
isn't that what the number they're throwing around? Is that 10%?
that's it's just rumor. That was the high end of the rumor that I've seen, but that
Fine.
seems
So
really
5%. Maybe. I mean, if someone, I don't know. I guess I don't want to do the math. Shipwreck, do the math. If if they make 40% on someone who buys one used game, as opposed to someone who buys like, I don't know, 10 games over the lifetime of their console digitally, where's GameStop going to make more money?
No, but that same customer is not just trading in one game. He's an active customer. He's going to be coming back all the time trading, and he's
I don't know.
that's how their whole business is floated. I think these people coming in this circle of buying games, getting tired of them, trading them in, and getting the new one, and that's how GameStop takes a low margin business like selling video games
until you get your first hit of digital and not having to go to the store and not having to put in the disc. And you just
well, yeah,
keep
of
doing
course,
that and you're
less
waiting for
people.
those
Of
digital
course, that's their
sales.
whole problem, right? Of course, that's why they're having so much trouble now. Is
That's why
because
we're
And now they get 5% of that.
that's
from
the
these
not
people
40%.
It's
From
not
the-
nearly.
It's not
nearly
enough.
as much.
It's not
just
enough.
not.
Even over 5 years, as opposed to someone who from the
Yeah,
person
It's
who
the same customer. It's the
It's
same guy.
It's over 5 years. It still doesn't add up to the same, nearly as much as what they get with, their
Physical
40%
goods.
markup on used games.
On their play. Their play
Mhm.
is that cycle. That cycle is just that's what's kept GameStop going all these years. And
well, then so long GameStop.
I think I think the stock market like this, but I don't think they really thought about it too much. Like Shipwreck said, any positive news, just like, yeah, go, yay.
Well, I mean, short term wise, great move,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's good. I just the footprint they have it's hard to overcome that, and maybe the pandemic will help them as far as rent prices, right? Because your
Yeah.
locations, you may not get the rents that were pre-pandemic for a while,
Right. I don't know.
but they just have so much overhead.
Yep.
I get why Microsoft and Sony want to give them money, though. I mean, it's a large advertising wing for both of them, right? For the
Yes.
whole industry.
Yes, of course. Online, they have their online presence, and the in-store presence is the thing that can't be obviously easily duplicated. But their online presence is pretty decent, I'm sure. And they have all these marketing agreements with all the publishers, and yep. Well, we'll see. At least it's something that keeps them afloat. Keep some jobs. We need some jobs in this country, Wombat.
True.
You don't know.
True.
You have no idea what I just said.
Something about jobs.
Right. That's close enough.
Yep.